You're the girlfriend?
Yeah.
Did you buy him that hat?
You bet I did.
You kind of look like Timberlake without the power or money or talent.
It was just fun to have a reason to be around comedy and around the clubs. So when I was working on Trainwreck, I was beginning to speak with Pete about this show, and then I started doing stand-up again, just out of jealousy of how much fun people like Pete and Amy were having. I thought, why aren't I having fun? I'm just sitting home alone half the time. And it's been really great. I've enjoyed just being a part of the tribe. And then, we shoot at the Comedy Cellar, so there's nothing more fun than that. There's a lot of comedians around, and you get a chance to show a lot of people that we love and give them parts on the show, and you give them opportunities to show a side of themselves they haven't gotten to show before. Yeah, we sit around, with our writing staff, which is mainly comedians, and we talk about what their journeys have been like, and also what's happening right now in comedy. What are people debating? What are the politics of what's happening in the club? So, this season, we do talk about sexual harassment and what it's like for women in comedy, and give people a taste of what the world is really like for people. Well, we're trying to show, what's happening in the clubs, which is, in a great way, there's a push in this industry, as there are in a lot of industries, for diversity, and then you get the natural result of that, which is a lot of amazing people getting opportunities who deserved them a long time ago, but you also get, a lot of white men just thinking, wait a second, am I losing opportunities because this is happening? And I think that's a microcosm of how people feel in the country sometimes. People are threatened by change, but it's change that's absolutely essential to make the country fair. And the comedy world is a funny place to show, how it affects people. For a long time, comedy was this white, male-dominated industry. When I first started doing comedy in the mid-'80s, there were very few women doing comedy. And that's changed a lot in the last 10 years, and I think comedy is way better for it. I mean, some of the greatest comedians in the world right now are women, and it's, what would comedy be without Maria Bamford? To me, she's the best person, doing comedy right now, and I think it's only good. Well, it's always hard when you work on something for a long time and then people don't go to it. Like that always feels weird. And what I know now, just because I'm older, is sometimes the things that nobody watches when they first are brought to the world are the things that people talk about 10 or 20 years later. So we made a silly kids movie with Ben Stiller that I wrote with Steve Brill called Heavyweights, and it came out in the mid-'90s, and it's just something that people continue to talk about and see. But at the time, nobody saw it. It didn't do well at all in the box office, but they keep putting it out on DVD and Blu-ray, and it's always on TV, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, I loved that movie as a kid, and that happens over and over again. So now when something bombs, I just think, I'm sure this is great. They just haven't discovered it yet. But maybe it is terrible, but now I can at least rationalize it. Well, I always try to write as much as I can, just based on what else is happening that I'm working on. And Pete and I have had a really positive, fun relationship. He's a great writer. I've encouraged him to try to co-write as many of the episodes as he can, and he's a real guiding light as to what the show should be about. A lot of the writing is just sitting with Pete and a group of writers talking about each stage of Pete's life and career and what happened, and then all the writers pitch in their stories, and it becomes a big soup of all of that. But he's really fun to work with. He's a great writer. These shows are very hard to do if, you know, the star, who's also a writer, isn't fast, really, you know, confident, and pushing the whole machine forward. You know, if you have someone that needs 3 months to write every script, the whole machine falls apart. You know, Pete's definitely someone that'll have a great idea and go write it in a week, and then be very open to suggestions and rewrites. He's very like Lena Dunham was in that way, and it makes it all possible. He's really trying to be truthful about where he was during certain periods of his life, and he's not worried about embarrassing himself. Like, he will show the worst of Pete, and that always makes for funny stuff. We were really excited because one day we were shooting and Amy Schumer came to visit, and then we said, hey, do you want to be in the scene? And she's like, sure. And then we went upstairs to this apartment and we rewrote this scene that she was going to be in, but then she helped us rewrite these 2 scenes that she wasn't in just because she was bored, and it was so helpful and she was so funny. That was a great day. It was fun to work on an episode with John Mulaney. You know, we haven't seen a lot of John as an actor in shows like this, and he really is a fantastic actor and so funny. So we tailored the whole finale around John, and he couldn't have been funnier. So that's exciting for me. I always like when you can show how great someone is at doing something where people haven't seen them do it a lot already.
Was it an easy pitch to get Emo Phillips?
Emo Phillips is someone that has been one of the greats for decades. When I first started doing stand-up, he was already one of the greats of all time. And so we were looking for someone who everyone at the club would get really excited when he came in. And so Emo came in, and he's a one-liner comedian, and we shot his act and then had to pick which jokes to put on the show, and we were just stunned at how amazing the joke writing was. We had to really watch it carefully to go, okay, we have room for about 6 jokes, which ones? And he gave us like 25 amazing jokes. Well, when I lived with Adam Sandler when I was in my early 20s, one day his friend from college, Jack Garputo, who later went on to produce most all of Adam's movies, one day he just knocked on the door and said, "I'm Jack. Adam said I could sleep on your couch this summer." And then he slept on the couch all summer. He became a good friend after, but that day I'm like, wait, we didn't have the "your buddy's gonna sleep on the couch all summer" conversation.